Hello everyone, this is Mrs. Darling. I'm here to tell you about or teach you about two-point perspective. As you can see, this is one of the two-point perspective projects I'm having some of my students do. It's just a series of boxes. I think it's really cool and very interesting. And in this picture, as you can see, 2 points, so two-point perspective. The point, no pun intended, but the point of two-point perspective is so you can see two sides of a box or a shape or a building. This gives you the option of seeing two sides of something. So if you were standing at the corner of a building, you could see down this street and this street if this was a cityscape. But today, I'm just going to teach you how to make two-point perspective boxes. I did do a video on a one-point perspective name, but this is a step up. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper, okay, a ruler, a pencil with an eraser. I also think that having an extra eraser is good too. So what you're going to do, and when you do this, you want to find, so here's the top and bottom of my paper, you want to find about the center. It doesn't have to be perfect and you don't have to do it exact, but I'm going to draw lightly. I'm going to say this again, but you want to make all of your lines very light. I'm just using an HB pencil, just a regular number 2. You want to put your 2 points, your vanishing points, as far to this edge of the paper as possible. Don't put it on the edge, but close. Now, I put it on my horizon line. So again, if you don't know, the horizon line is where the sky and the land meets, okay? And your vanishing points should always be on the horizon line. Now, we do not need the horizon line, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase that because you don't wanna get, you don't wanna be confused by your lines. So I'm gonna teach you how to make a box. Let's just start with a simple box. Now here, I took out chunks and everything. Don't worry about that yet. First, you want to master making a box. So what I'm going to do is when you do two-point perspective, you start differently than you would with one-point perspective. With one-point perspective, you actually draw a square or a rectangle or a box or the shape and go from there. With two-point perspective, you are essentially drawing the corner of your shape. So I'm going to do one right in the middle. I'm going to draw a vertical line, which is going to be perpendicular to your horizon line, okay? So I drew my corner, and then from there, you have, this is the edge of my box, and this is how tall it's going to be. So again, you're going to make your diagonal lines go here and here. So I'm going to go this, you're going to go 1, 2. So as you can see, I'm lining up the edge here to my vanishing point. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Make these lines really light, okay? I'm going to do this here. Okay, now, it's a little off, but that's okay. So now you're like, all right, so what do I do now? Well, you can decide how big you want your building or your box, how deep it goes. So all your lines are going to match. They're going to be perpendicular to each other. So here's my vertical line. I'm going to stop it here, and this is also vertical. It's matching this. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this side. Look at that. Now, still doesn't look quite right. So I'm going to take my eraser. Erase those lines. And I have my first box. Now, I did this right on the horizon line, so it might not look quite right. Let's do one over here. Okay, so I'm going to do one below the horizon line, and I'm going to start, remember, with my corner of my box, okay? Again, I'm going to take the bottom line. You're going to be making 4 lines. So 1, it doesn't matter where you start either, which side you start on. Here's 2. 3 and 4. Okay. Looks a little different, right? Again, like we did up here, you want to stop your, I'm going to stop mine right here. Again, it is perpendicular or completely vertical. 1, 2. Now, I'm going to erase these lines. The more, when you erase these lines, I think it's a good idea because it can get confusing when you have lines going everywhere. Now you're like, well, this doesn't look right? So if you think about it, this is below the horizon line, so you're going to see the top. If your box was above the horizon line, you would see the bottom. So watch this. Now remember, all of your diagonal lines are going to either vanishing point, remember? Okay? Not your vertical lines, your diagonal lines. So I have this side of my box and this side of the box. I got to make my top. So if I want here, that wouldn't really make any sense. So to show this, I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to go to the opposite side. Watch this. I'm going to go here. Do the same thing here. Since this one went here, this one's going to go over to here. I'm going to stop it there. Now look at that. Now, I'm going to erase my lines and look what happened. Crossing those lines made my box. Cool, right? So I'm going to do one over here. I'm going to do a smaller one. So again, so you guys can see everything. Here's my vanishing points, right? I'm going to do one right here. Start with my vertical line, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 'You could go through if you guys say 3 and 4. So remember, this is below my horizon line. You saw the top. Now remember, we're going to see underneath our box. So before I do the other lines, I got to stop my box. So vertical, remember, vertical. See how these are parallel to each other? Parallel, and they are completely vertical. Perpendicular to the horizon line. So remember, now I have where these lines meet. See right here and right here where these meet. Same thing here, here, and here. I'm going to take this corner and I'm going to go to the opposite side. Go here. And then here. Look at that. Let's erase all these lines. Okay. Cool, right? We got these cool floating boxes. And look at that. All right. So and then what you would do is the best way to get the hang of this is to continue to practice. But let's say I wanted a box. Here, let's make this line darker here. Let's say I wanted a box that was behind this one. So I'm going to do this, right? Do my line. I'm going to stop it there. Watch this. Remember, diagonal lines 1 and 2. Well, let's say technically we'll erase this later, but I'm going to have it go like this. Lightly, because I can erase it later. Okay, right? And let's make it, I'm going to make it kind of narrow. Vertical. And it's going to stop there, right? But I should probably, so I can see it. Right? Watch this. So you don't necessarily need to make all this. I just wanted to show you guys what it would look like. See, right? A little confusing. But then I could decide, do I want this one in the front or this one in the front? That's something that you would have to decide. But I'm gonna take this away and I keep the big one in the front, okay? Erase all these extra lines that I don't need. And look at that, there's a box behind another box. So in this picture, I'm showing like there's chunks taken out, there's all sorts of stuff, right? So if I wanted to, I'm gonna teach you guys how to let's make a tunnel. Let's make a tunnel on this one, right? So we're gonna take away the idea of making a corner, right? So I want to make a tunnel that starts on this side of the building. So on this side of the building or box, all my lines are going this way. If I wanted to do on this side, all my diagonal lines would go this way. So what I'm going to do is you first want to make your vertical line. So I'm going to make one here. And watch, I'm going to go 1 and 2. And then I'm going to make my other vertical line that is parallel to this. And I have that. Now you're like, all right, well, that just looks like a square. Now remember, this side, all these go here, but if you're looking in a tunnel, technically you would see the inside wall of that tunnel. So remember what we said, all these lines go here. When we did the roof or we did the other side, this line went to the opposite. So the same rule goes to here. So I'm gonna go to this corner and now watch this. I stop, look. Now you give the illusion of a tunnel, okay? And you can kind of do, I did that here, you see that? This is going to here, same thing here. Now, this is below the horizon line, so I would see, you know, the bottom of the tunnel. If my window or my tunnel, like here, is up, since this is above my horizon line, I see the ceiling and the wall, okay? Now let's talk about maybe adding a section out, just like here. Let's see, I'm gonna choose one. Let's do one here. Actually, let's do it over here. We'll do it over here. So watch this. I'm gonna do my vertical lines, right? This and this. Okay, now since it's on this side, right? It's on this side, so this line would technically go to this side, this vanishing point, because it's on the closest side going that way. So I'm gonna do this, okay, right? Now, I'm gonna erase this. So this is the bottom. So remember what we said, my opposite lines. I'm gonna go here. Watch this, so I'm gonna erase this. Cool, right? Look how neat that is. So my challenge to you is to continue to fill this up and make this really interesting kind of floating world of boxes and things coming out. I use colored pencils here. You could use marker, you can use all sorts of things, but I challenge you to fill up your page as much as possible, make it interesting, because this isn't quite balanced. I'd probably add something over here, maybe something in here. I'd like you to make at least, 20 different things, but it's really up to you. Have fun with it. I hope this made sense. Replay it a couple times. You should be able to get it. And again, if you want to get better at something, you got to practice. Same thing goes with drawing. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.